and welcome everyone to our final project assessment on the book The China Model by Daniel A. Bell. In the following video project, you'll find out what are the main theses, statements and issues of the book which impressed us the most. Now a word to my colleague.
Westerns tend to divide the political world into good democracies and bad authoritarian regimes, but the Chinese political model does not fit neatly in either category. Over the past 3 decades, China has evolved a political system that can best be described or called as political meritocracy. The China model seeks to understand the ideas and the reality of this unique political system. The China model is an attempt to prise open this debate. It starts from two premises. First, that there is a crisis of governments in Western democracies, and second, that China's economic achievements suggest it has been well governed. With a critique of one person, one vote as a way of choosing top leaders, Bell argues that Chinese-style political meritocracy can help to remedy the key flaws of electoral democracy. We do agree about one thing, that we should choose our political leaders by means of one person, one vote. Bell shows an idealized China model in which the most able people in society are chosen to turn the country on the basis examinations, some IQ tests, etc. Their performance in them measured over many years in a variety of jobs, starting at the provincial level. Regional experimentation allows good ideas and good leaders to move up to the center. The obvious success of this system in solving problems and creating economic growth that gives political leaders legitimacy in the eyes of ordinary people. Bell's difficulty is partly that he is almost too intellectually honest for his own good. The bulk of his book is taken up with considering the arguments against meritocracy, and Bell finds that many of these objections have merit. A lack of democracy checks can allow corruption to flourish, although, as Bell also points out, democratic India has hardly cracked the corruption problem. The meritocratic elite can also swiftly become arrogant and self-serving, and the inability to pass exams and solve complex problems will not necessarily endow leaders with empathy or morality. The economic statistic may suggest that modern China has been outstandingly well governed, but as Bell acknowledges, other indicators are not so positive. He notes carefully that corruption, the gap between rich and poor, also we have some environmental degradation sometimes, abuses of power by political officials, harsh measures for dealing with political dissent, seems to have become worse, while the political system has become more meritocratic. That's all from my side, and now I give a talk to my colleagues.
Well, another thought we paid attention to is a description of different kinds of leaders, and we know that there are a lot of them, and of course they differ from each other, but all the leaders should be humble and they should lead a modest lifestyle. And what about a political leader, about an effective political leader? We know that an effective leader must be able to inspire people, not simply direct or compel followers. Other traits include having sufficient self-esteem to recruit and to reward intelligent people, and also it's important to accept criticism and to accept it with a sense of dignity. Political leaders need a sense of purpose and passion to continuously work at their goals and to achieve their goals and aims by all means, by all peaceful means. We know that today's world requires political leaders with superior intellectual abilities, its analytical skills and knowledge of different disciplines and different traditions. And political leaders must be surrounded by people from different spheres to keep up, to follow modern trends, and to satisfy people interests and people desires.
So, what's the problem with political meritocracy? What is wrong with political meritocracy? Or to be more accurate, is it possible to implement political meritocracy? The author says that although such political system ensures professionalism and certain skillfulness of statesmen, the bureaucracy, it is almost devoid of checks and balances which are present in the electoral model. The author later distinguishes two problems with political meritocracy. Firstly, imagine you live in a society with a very productive and efficient government. But, for example, once again, this government is very morally corrupted or even evil, and you want to get rid of them. In the electoral model, you are the voter, and so you vote them out. However, there appears to be only one option left in political meritocracy. It is the rebellion. It is to rebel against evil government. But we don't want to use violence in politics, do we? We consider it bad and destructive for society. The second problem is that hierarchical, meritocratic element is actually present in the West, in the Western political structure, but it's not institutionalized. And that we know political hierarchies are rather problematic. Later in the chapter, author mentions that we can solve these problems by the means presented in the Chinese model. Historically, there were several institutions like the imperial system of exams, Kaiju, which in a sense indoctrinated future bureaucrats and even the emperor with Confucianist values, and a separate institution of courtier critics whom emperor had to respect and listen to. In conclusion, we see that to establish political meritocracy and to prevent abuses of power, we need to establish developed cultural institutions.
And today I'm going to talk about the academic reading, chapter 4, which is about three models of meritocracy. First, he talked about that we need to choose the richest person. He mentioned the multiple voting mode. In this mode, I think that from this perspective of politics, the voters are lack of reasonable. They are too short-sighted, and he mentioned some example of the old men and the young people. They will have a different political goals to achieve. Second, he proposed the horizontal model. In this model, he said that in my opinion, I think what this is mentioned about is about the elite democracy and the meritocracy. Yeah, from this perspective, we can see that elite democracy and the meritocracy, I think we need to make this little horizontal model with the vertical model together, because in these two models, the writers talk about the meritocracy and elite democracy. Yeah, we can use this word to describe these kind of things. It's more like the democracy centralism. In this way, the people can get enough training, and the people can have a better professional knowledge about what they need to do and what they will do before. So this is the advantages of the meritocracy.
To conclude, the project's goal was achieved, and the book certainly changed our view on the meritocracy system in China. After the journey with Daniel Bell, which really deepened our knowledge about meritocracy system and certainly established how it can be implemented nowadays. And this is the end part of our project.